when you became the president. In India, you have Nasim Rao, Hata Dev Gowda. Can we have the photographs on screen? Yes. You dealt with these personalities from around the world. Dev Gowda, Indra Kumar Gujral. In Germany, you had Helmut Kohl. I'm just trying to take you back down to memory lane. John Mayer in the UK, Tony Blair in the UK. Then you dealt with Bill Clinton. You dealt with Jiang Zemin in China and Boris Yeltsin in Russia. Your rule was from 1994 to 2005. You were twice elected to president. One of the most challenging issues you faced was the ongoing civil war. After India airdropped food supplies, our relationships with India were at a very low level. The conflict was at its peak. There was an attack on the life. The war witnessed severe humanitarian crises and security issues. On the world stage, the Cold War had just ended. Even the members here in this audience, most of them wouldn't remember. But the world stage was during your rule, and most of them wouldn't have been born. So I just wanted to take you down and also give the audience the context of this question. In this backdrop, how did you manage to establish relationships with world leaders in establishing Sri Lanka's position, especially given the conflicting interests of global powers, USA, Russia, China, and India? If you can take maybe 4 to 5 minutes.
The question is so complicated, I don't know how to answer it. Yes.
So I just want to hear from you how you manage these world powers in establishing our position. Because when you came to power, we were in a very precarious state.
Well, you see, when we came into power in 1994, Sri Lanka had a very bad reputation for human rights violations. Maybe the 2 years before I came into power was isolated. It's not because I had the then Prime Minister next to me. It had been true, but for many years, the human rights violations in Sri Lanka against the minorities, against even the majority opposition parties, and all that was very, very known. So, obviously, the first thing we had to do, not only to please the international community, but for our people, was to re-establish democracy and democratic governance, which I think we did very successfully. As we came in, I had 4 or 5 slogans that was my main slogan. Democracy, human freedoms, respect for human rights and all that. And we did a lot in Parliament, we brought in a lot of laws to ensure fundamental rights, women's rights, children's rights, and all that kind of thing. So I think the world began to look at us differently. And we had a lot of warm reception from world leaders. Then also the seething ethnic problem, which at that time had saw no solution. We came in with the solution. At the time I contested for the Provincial Council, then for the general elections and the presidential, in my close of each other. The one major slogan I spoke about was poverty alleviation and distribution of the fruits of economic development which the previous government had actually obtained through the opening up of the economy to everybody, not only to the elite but to everybody, and thereby alleviating poverty various programs. But the second equally important one was the resolution of the ethnic problem. And we came in saying that we are willing to give extensive revolution. Within 1 year, we presented to the country the constitutional project that I was talking about, with extensive revolution to these regions
especially India. How do you balance India in this equation?
So generally they were all very happy with the solutions we were proposing for the Sri Lanka problem as well as the human rights situation, improvement of that. They were very happy. And in fact, various international known human rights watch and all that kind of thing gave us a lot of support and praise and all that. India, first and foremost, we realized that foreign policy wise that the most important part of Sri Lanka was India.
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 India, yes. Yeah.
That's Himalayas.
Yes.
So, geography.
Yeah.
And all the ancient cultural, religious, political connections that we had. So we developed that. And we immediately started discussions with them. And we told them at that time India was too involved in Sri Lanka, maybe even too much in trying to resolve the issue. So when they saw what we were proposing, they were very happy.
But did USA, Russia and China encourage you to build better relations with India? What was their reaction?
Not particularly. So we had a very independent foreign policy and we would not have tolerated anybody telling us what we should do.
Right.
And they didn't tell us.
Okay.
But we know that they must have appreciated it.
Yeah.
Because they were beginning to work very closely with India. After the time, the period of Syria and the relations with the US were very strained, the US and India worked closely. And they were happy, they showed us that they were happy.
And our relationship with the UK was also at a low level after the High Commissioner, UK High Commissioner's incident just before you came to power. Yeah.
So we were able, I think the main basis of trust that we were able to build with the world was that we improved the human rights situation, democracy, democratic governance, anti-corruption in a big way, and the education. So once that basis was there, it was very easy to build relations, one-to-one good relations with the foreign leaders.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to President Mike Pence. ඔබතුමා ජනාධිපති වෙන්න 2015 ජනාධිපති වෙනකොට ඒ ඉස්සෙල්ලා තිබිච්ච අවුරුදු 10 වැළු ජනාධිපති මහින්ද රාජපක්ෂ මේ ඉන්විටේෂන් එක ඇක්සෙප්ට් කරලා දුන්නා. හැබැයි අවසාන මොහොතේ මානේ වැළුවා. ඒකෝ එතුමාගේ කාලයේ මුල් කාලයේ පැතිරුණු තිබුණේ යුද්ධය අවසන් අතුල. ඊපස්සේ යුද්ධයේ ජයග්‍රහණය තීරණාත්මක වගේම මතභේදාත්මක වුණා. රාජ්‍ය ආරක්ෂාව, මිනිස් අයිතිවාසිකම් සහ මානසික වගකීම් ගැන උගා ජාත්‍යන්තර වශයෙන් කතා කරලා. එතකොට ඔබතුමා ජනාධිපති වෙනකොට ලෝකයේ අනෙක් රටවල් වල හිටියේ ඇමරිකාවේ බැරක් ඔබාමා. ඊට පස්සේ පිටි කාලයකට වුණා ගමනට ජනාධිපතිතුමාත් එක්ක වුණා. ඊට පස්සේ ජර්මනියේ වුණා ඇන්ජලා මර්කල්ලා GSP කන්ෆරන්ස් එතකොට ඇමරිකා UK වල එංගලන්තේ එක්සත් රාජධානි ඩේවිඩ් කැමරන් තෙරේසා මේ පොලිස් කවුන්සිල් එක කළා. CNC GP එක කළා. නරේන්ද්‍ර මෝඩි India, Vladimir Putin India, Russia. මේවායි තමයි උරුමාන. ඒකට උරුමාගේ පාලන කාලයේ සම්පූර්ණනේ අභියෝග අවස්ථා මිශ්‍රණයක් හැටියට. Mix of opportunities and challenges. මේ දෙකේ දේශපාලනය හා සමාජ ආර්ථික පරිසරයේ ඇති සම්පූර්ණතාවය. ඔබ පාලනයට සමහර වෙලාවට පොලිෂන් ගවර්න්මන්ට් එක විතර දේශපාලනය ලැබුණා. ඔබතුමා සාපාර්ලිමේන්තු නියෝජනය. ඒක පාස්කාරයේ උතුමාගේ රජයේ බලවත් සිදු කළා. එසේම මේ පාලනය ආරම්භයේදී ඔබ 19 ව්‍යවස්ථාව සංශෝධනය කළා. යාරා ආර්ථික සුලාවේ ට්‍රාන්ස්පරන්සි යහපත් රාජපාලනයක අත්දැක ගන්නවා. ස්වාධීන කරන සදාචාරය. එතකොට මේ පාරිසරය ඔබේ රජයේ ප්‍රතිපත්ති සම්පාදනයට ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීමට මොන වගේ බලපෑමක් ඇති කළේ ඔබේ පාලනය කාලය තුළ. ඒකෝ මේ ගෝලීය ලෙස බලවත් වගේ ලංකාවෙන් සැලකිල්ලක් දක්වන රටවල ඔබතුමාගේ පාලනය දැක්කේ.
මුලින්ම ස්තුතිවන්ත වෙනවා ඔබේ වැඩලා සමගට කතා කරන පිළිබඳව මම හිතන්නේ ඓතිහාසික සමුද ලංකාවේ පිටතට නොදිවුවා කාර්යය. ඇත්තටම මම 2015 ජනවිදුරේට පත්වන විට මගේ අගමැතිතුමා විශේෂයෙන්ම සඳහන් කරන්න ඕනේ අවුරුදු 30ක තිබුණු යුද්ධයක වඩා අසීරු අමර කාලයක් තමයි ලෝකේ ඕනෑම රටක යුද්ධයක් අවසන් වුණාට පසුව පශ්චාත් යුද්ධ සමයේ තමයි ජාතීන් අතර සමගිය නැගීම, මිත්‍රත්වය, සැකේ දුරු කිරීම, සහෝදරත්වය නැගීම ඒකට කිරීම. ඒකට ඒ සඳහා අපිට ඉතාම වැදගත් වුණේ ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් ලැබිච්ච ජාත්‍යන්තර සහයෝගය සඳහන් කළා. මේ ජාත්‍යන්තර සහයෝගය ලබා ගැනීමේදී මම හිතනවා ගරු සිරිමාව වඩාරායක මැතිණියගෙන් පස්සේ වැඩිම ලෝකේ රටවල් සංඛ්‍යාවක් අපි සමග එකට වැඩ කෙරුවේ සහයෝගය දුන්නේ මිනිසුන් අත්සන් කෙරුවේ මගේ ආශිර්වාද කියලා මම අපිට කියන්නේ. ඒකට පශ්චාත් යුද්ධ සමයක ඒ කටයුතු කරගෙන යෑමේදී එකක් තමයි මම බලයටපත් වෙන විට එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානයේ මහලේකම්තුමා කියලා සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම අපි ඈත් වෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ මානව හිමිකම් කොමිසම සභාව සම්පූර්ණයෙන් අපෙන් ඈත් වෙනවා. ලෝකේ රටවල් රාශියක් අපෙන් ඈත් වෙනවා. ඒ මොකද අපලයේ වෙන කලින් ඒක බලධාරී එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානයේ මහලේකම්වරයාගේ සිට ලෝකේ රටවල් අසල්වැසි රටවල් රටකම ඕක කියලා පොරොන්දු දීලා අපේ විශ්වාසය නැති වෙනවා. ඒක උදාහරණයක් විදිහට එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ මහලේකම්වරයා යුද්ධය නැවතුණා 2009 මේ මාසයේ ලංකාවට ආපිලාවේ එතකොට ලීපන් යුද්ධ අපේ බලධාරීන් කිව්වා ලීපන් නෙවෙයි රටේකු මහලේකම්වරයා මිනිකේ එතුමා කිව්වා මේ ආත්මීය සංශෝධනය ක්‍රියාත්මක කිරීම අවශ්‍යයි. ඊට පස්සේ එවැනිකු අපේ නායකයින් කිව්වා 13 නෙවෙයි ඊට එහා යනවත් අපි ඇත්ති ඒකම කරන්න. ඒකට ඒ විදිහට ඉන්දිය රජයක් යුඑන් එකක් මානවීය කොමිසම සභාවක් කරනවා. ඒකට ආණ්ඩුවේ සමහර අධිකරු ලංකාවේ යුඑන් ඔෆිස් එක ගාව ගිහිල්ලා බිම නිදාගෙන යුඑන් එක විරුද්ධව සටන් පාඩම්. රටේ ප්‍රධාන ගිහිල්ලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට කැවිලි. අනිත් පැත්තේ ගත්තාම අවුනිදේ පිළි කොන්සල්ටන්ට් ස්ටුඩියෝ විශ්වවිද්‍යාලයේ වණින් වාගේ ලංකාව පැමිණි වෙලාවේ ආර්මී නියෝජක පිළිතුරුව අවුනිදේ පිළි මට විවාහ කරගන්න කියලා නම් ඉතින් මේවා එක්ක ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම යුඑන් එක අපිට එක්ක සම්පූර්ණ නැහැ. ඒකට යුඑන් එක ඇත්තටම යුරෝපා සංගමය අපේ ඇත්තේ ඒක ඒ වගේම ජාත්‍යන්තර මූල්‍ය ආයතන IMF ADB වර්ල්ඩ් බැංක් තයිකඩ කුයිකඩ මේ කොහොම අපේ ඇත්තේ ඒක යුඑන් මේ තාක්ෂණික එක්ක අපි ලොකු උත්සාහයක් ගත්තා ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන්ම ජාත්‍යන්තර දිශාවේ පස්සේ දුකී දුක්ඛපායට පත්ලා ආර්ථික වශයෙන් කඩාවැටිලා ජාති අතර මිත්‍රත්වය අසංගිය ඇතිලා ප්‍රත්‍යක්ව ඉතා අසීමවම දැන තමයි අපි හිටියේ. නමුත් අපිට අපේ ආණ්ඩුව පුරවස්කර තිබුණා එක්සත් ජාතීන්ගේ සංවිධානය සහ මානව කොමිසම් සභාව අපිට දුන්නු යවන උපදෙස්. ඒ අපිට ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්න පුළුවන්. උදාහරණයක් විදිහට ගත්තොත් එක් පැත්තකින් අබුදා පුරවල් පිළිබඳව කොමිසම් සභාවක් පිළිගන්නවා. ඒකට ඒ කාර්යය අපි කෙරුවා. ඊළඟට ජාතීන් අතර රටේ අභ්‍යන්තර සමගිය ඇති කිරීම සඳහා විශේෂයෙන්ම ජාතික සමගිය ගොඩනැගීමට අපි ආයතනයක් පිළිදෙව්වා. ඒ ආයතනයේ සභාපතිතුමිය හිටියේ කරු චන්ද්‍රිකා වණ්ඩාරමේ මොහොතක වැදී.
අපි ඒක ඊළඟ පාඩේ.
ඒකයි. මෙතනින් අපි පුදුලාම ලාස් පාලේ ඒ වගේම දානි ඉවරලා ඒ ආණ්ඩුව කරන්න අපි මේ ආරණාවක් එක්ක අපි මූලික වශයෙන් අපි පුරාණ ලැබුණා ආර්ථිකයේ ගොඩනගා ගැනීම සඳහා විශේෂයෙන්ම ජාත්‍යන්තර සහයෝගයක් ප්‍රදාන කරනවා. දැන් මම ආණ්ඩුවේ සීමාව වටාරණයක් ඇදී පස්සේ
ඒ උත්සාහය සාර්ථක වුණා. ජාත්‍යන්තර සහයෝගය
ඒක සාර්ථක. දැන් සීමාව වටාරණයක් ඇදී පස්සේ රුසියාවට රාජ්‍ය සංචාරයක් ස්ටේට් විසිටක් කරන්නේ මට. ජර්මනියේ ස්ටේට් විසිටක් කරන්නේ මට. ඒක ප්‍රධාන වශයෙන් මේ මගේ නමවත් මගේ රූපේට සජීවීව පිළිගන්නේ. අපේ ප්‍රතිපත්තිවල විශේෂයෙන්ම 19 වෙනි සංශෝධනය සම්බන්ධයෙන් අසුව රටේ දේශපාලන ස්ථාවරත්වය සහ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයේ තහවුරු කිරීම මානවික මූලික විශ්වාසයන් තහවුරු කිරීම ඒ වගේම ජාතීන් අතර සිංහල තමිල් මුස්ලිම් මැලි වර්ග ආගම් ભેදයකින් තොරව මේ සියලු දෙනා එක තැනකට ගැනීම සඳහා ඒකයි මම කිව්වේ පශ්චාත් විදසමයේ විද්‍යාවක් කරනවට වඩා අමාරු කාලයක් ඉදිරියට ගෙනියන ජනතාව. එයයි සහෝදරත්වයෙන් එකට එකතු කිරීම. ඒකෝට ඒ කාර්යය අපි කළා. දැන් ඊළඟට ඔබ විශේෂයෙන්ම සහෝදරතුමා සඳහන් කළා මේ පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය සම්පත්තෙන් පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය කියනකොට මම මේ මහසභාවේ උන්දරේ කොම් කියන්න පුළුවන් පාස්කු ප්‍රහාරය පිළිබඳව කිසිදු පොලිසිය හෝ ආරක්ෂකාංශ නිදහම්කා බුද්ධ්‍යංශ එන රාජ්‍ය බුද්ධ්‍යංශ ජාතික බුද්ධ්‍යංශ මේ කිසිම කෙනෙක් අප්‍රේල් 4 2019 පළවෙනි තොරතුරු ලැබිලා අවසානයේ ඕක පුපුරන දවසේ උදේ 7ට පොලිස්පතිවරයාට ඒගොල්ලෝ අතරේ සාකච්ඡා නිසා ඒ කිසිම කෙනෙක් මට මේ කාරණා දුන්නේ නැහැ. මේක බොහොම පැහැදිලිවම මතක් කිව්වා. ඒකට අනිත් පැත්තෙන් ගත්තාම මේ අපි බොහෝ වෙලාවට මොකක්ද කියන කරුණාංශලා
ඒ සිද්ධිය කියන්නේ රාජ්‍ය ප්‍රතිපත්ති සම්පාදනයේ බලපෑමක් කළා. මොකද ඒ විලාප පිට වාතාවරණයක් එක්ක. ප්‍රතිපත්ති සම්පාදනයේ ඉතාම බැලලා තියෙනවා. ඒකෝට ඒ තුන අපිට උගන්වන්න ලැබුණා. ඒ විදිහේ මොන වැටවිලා ඉස්සරහට ගෙනියන්න. ඒ වගේම මම කියන්නේ බොහොම සතුටින් 1947 ඉඳලා මේ වෙනකම් අපේ ආණ්ඩුවේලා දීප වාර්තාව සංචාරකී වෙනවා කියන පිළිබඳව 2018 තම ලංකාවේ වැඩිම සංචාරකීන්ගේ මුදලක් ලංකාවට අපි දෙන්නවා. අද වෙනකම් කිසිම කෙනෙකුට ඒ වාර්තාව විඳින්න පුළුවන් වෙලා නැහැ. මම ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා ඉතින් ආණ්ඩුවට අලුත් ආණ්ඩුවට ඒ වාර්තාව විඳින්න කියලා. ඒ මොකද අපිට ආදායම් ආරක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයේ මම කැදවල නැහැ කියලා. ඒකට අපි ඒක කතා කරනවා. ඔව්. අපි You rule the country from July 2022 to November 2022. In the world, if you take world leadership, you dealt with Joe Biden in the USA, Olaf Scholz in Germany, Boris Johnson, British Sunak in the UK, Narendra Modi in India, Vladimir Putin in Russia, Xi Jinping in China. These are the leaders you dealt with on the screen. You assume the presidency amidst one of the most severe crises in the national history. Your 2.5-year term was defined by several critical challenges. The nation was on the brink of economic collapse, depreciating currency, food, medicine and fuel shortages. You passed the 22nd Amendment, thus re-empowering the 19th Amendment. Re-empowered independent commissions, gave fresh hope, but couldn't perhaps really capitalize on the opportunities. My question is, how did you leverage on the diplomatic connections you built over 40 years to overcome the multiple crises faced by the country when you assumed office? Going on, do you think geopolitical power play plays a major role in Sri Lanka's policy making and implementation? And to what extent we have to appease them to India's support? 2-3 questions, Mr. President, but let's see.
Unlike both President Kumaratunga and President Sirisena, I was not elected. I just walked into the office and sat down, but no one was claiming me. But I have had the opportunity of serving as Prime Minister under both of them. I mean, basically, what I had was to deal with a country that was bankrupt. There was no money, there were queues, people were finding it difficult to live. So first part of it really was, I went into Japan. That was the only country I went to initially. I'm from Mr. Abe's funeral, but I met Prime Minister Kishida. And I must thank him for all the help that he gave after that. Japan always stood behind us. Everywhere we turned to, Japan had already intervened and made it smooth for us. Secondly, a person that I was in touch with was the managing director of the IMF, Sri Lanka. She was at us. In fact, I spoke to her in 2021 December. By chance, I was a friend of mine was in discussion, and we discussed, and she said, "Go and tell your president." So I went and met President Gotabaya 3-4 times. He agreed on some of these, but his officials didn't carry it out much. Otherwise, we would not have this problem today. Of the others I have dealt with immediately was the Indian Minister of Finance, Nirmala Sitaram. Of course, I was dealing with Mr. Prime Minister Modi, I had known him earlier. But immediately was the $3.5 billion loan given to us by India, which really helped us along the way. So these were the people, and Janet Yellen, Secretary to the Treasury of US. I always said there were 3 women who saved us. Kristalina, Nirmala Sitharaman and Janet Yellen. Really, they were very useful. First one I met was Samantha Powers, who had been to Sri Lanka earlier, we've known her. And I was trying to get them to start the yalla cultivation. We basically didn't have any money. We had a few $100 million. But Samantha Powers gave some money from USA, and then the World Bank gave us the other money. That was the start. We got the other season going. Of the others, Mr. Narendra Modi, I've known him well. So I was in communication. I went to India the following year. Similarly, President Xi Jinping, I met him in 2024 when I went for the BRI conference, but I had sent messages to him. Of those who were useful to me really was the Chancellor of Germany, who also helped us. I met him first at one of the climate change conferences, and thereafter also President Macron. President Macron was there, he really helped us. President Biden I only met at the UN conference, but I was dealing with Janet Yellen. As far as UK was concerned, by the time I went with Boris Johnson, no longer Prime Minister, but I know him, I know him well. Liz Truss was there. Yes. I went there for the funeral of the Queen, and she did last till the coronation even. Yes. I only spoke to at the reception, I only spoke to Mr. Sunak also at the reception. So there was very much of discussion with the UK government. So these were the people I worked with. The South African President, Ramaphosa, was another person. And these were, I would say, the key people who helped Sri Lanka.
And the question is now, actually, a lot of people tend to believe that in obtaining concessions or help from various agencies and also countries, we need to make policy decisions to appease them also. To what extent that is true, really? Can you tell something about
You are an accountant.
Yes.
So when your clients give money,
Yeah.
you tell them to go along with what the borrower has done.
Yes.
They are giving their money, they are giving their people money. So money they have tax from their people and taken.
Yes.
So what is the employee you give them?
No.
So that.
No, of course,
And so what they wanted was, look, 17 times we've been to the island.
Yes.
17 times we broke it. Last was when Mr. Maithripala Sirisena was president, we came to an agreement that we'll have a surplus on the primary budget. And we got that, 217, 280, and we had decided on the taxes, how the revenue was to be collected. 219 we fell back because of the bomb, and we had one more year to go. And they said all of a sudden we are doing all the taxes, we are going to reduce it. And Mr. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa presented the budget in November 2019, and he took all the revenue away. You are all very happy because that being reduced and income tax had been reduced, but it was just the beginning of the disaster. And that's all. Then we went to elections. And if we kept on with the agreement we had made at that time, and we finalized it in 2020, they should have gone for another vote. Then we went to the election, the UNP is given that the economy is bad and we need $6 billion. So no one listened to us. We all lost our seats and I had to come back on the national. So really, the issue is not only the leader, the country and others must take it. So they had conditions which I had to first, no one was giving us money, I had to come to a staff level agreement and then get the final agreement. They wanted to ensure that our debt was sustainable. So the agreement was with the IMF. It's IMF that laid down the conditions, not those countries. Yeah. So then they put down the conditions that were necessary. I had to agree to it. What can I do? I can't go and argue. We only saying China is saying, India is saying. You went to that, what are reasonable? From their way, we talked to them. It was agreed by the OCC plus China, and then finally the creditors have agreed to it. So this is what I did till the day of the election. We finalized it about 2 days before the election. But now is the debt sustainability. You have to put that into action. I went and I brought in the economic transformation law, put the conditions in. Now how are you going to meet that? That is the main issue.
We'll come to that in the next hour.
So as far as they are concerned, it was their money, but they had their precedent which applied to all other countries after us. So I think we got a good deal, and it's up for us now to fulfill.